Hello, everyone. It's good to see you, even though I can't see you, but there's a lot of people connected. So happy to be here for the series of webinar for you guys, for our partners. We'll start this series of webinar today with a topic about the onboarder. With me, I have some, I've gathered like the expert, the best of the best I could find, and Akeneo. Alexandre, which is the product manager of the onboarder, will give you a highlight on the new features and the roadmap. Ronan, our magic pre-sales, will go through a demo and explain you the kind of typical use case where you can position Akeneo, the onboarder. Nelly, which is our famous consultant, she had worked a lot on the onboarder, and I wanted her to be here to give you like a feedback on implementation. I'm here, I'm just hosting the webinar. I'm happy to have you here. Just for your information, the webinar will be recorded and we will put it in the partner toolbox. So if any of your workmates can't make it, you will still be able to watch the webinar afterwards. It's gonna take around 45 minutes. You can ask any question on the row. We will answer all the questions you may have at the end of the session. I think we're good to go. So let's start by Alexandre. Again, he will focus on the new features and roadmap. Then Ronan will focus on the sales and the demo side, and then Nelly on the implementation feedback. It's your turn, Alexandre.
Thank you. I will talk you about the new features and the roadmap on the onboarder. As a lot of you may know, the onboarder is a SaaS product that is constantly evolving and improving itself with your feedback and the customer feedback. So please, I would be really glad to have your feedback on the onboarder and also to improve the onboarder with this. So I will start with all the features we developed since the APS 2020. Let's start with the first one. Now we are able to deploy up to 2,500 suppliers for one client. That means we leverage and we scale up for all the kind of clients you can have with all their suppliers. And the scale of the number of suppliers is no more a matter for them. The second one we deployed is to be able to prevent the supplier from creating new product. Internally, we call it to block the pre-reference product. Ronan and Nelly will talk more about this scenario of usage of the onboarder, but that really helps you to find the right way to use the onboarder with the suppliers. Then we release the compatibility with the PIM 4.0, and this compatibility brings a lot more features to the suppliers and our clients when they are using the onboarder, and even more with the new asset manager that's really simplify the usage of the assets for suppliers and converts all kind of assets on the fly with the PIM of your clients. So that I think I just forgot one. It's we revamped completely the import templates for the product of suppliers. It means that all the templates that Ronan will show you later have been completely changed and now are more easy to use for the suppliers and more humanly readable. So what are we currently working on? Currently, we are working on the product models and variants enrichment for suppliers. It will help you to enrich the client's catalogs with the variants, because we know that is a feature that's really expected for the onboarder, and we are currently working on, and it will be released really soon. Then we will be able to also enrich catalogs in multi-locals for you by suppliers. It means that if you are in a country that needs more than one local for enrichment of products, that will be possible with the Onboarder. And the last one is a quick activation of the Onboarder on the Serenity environment. It's a really huge improvement of the Onboarder, that it's compatible with the PIM Serenity and then can be activated on the fly without any outage of service. That's it for what we did recently and what we are currently working on. And so now we can discuss about the roadmap. The roadmap consists in 4 key areas of development. The first one is about the suppliers. The idea is to enable greater precision in what supplier can do. As you can see, we develop features related to this with the prevention of creating new reference products. That's really help you as partner to find and precise exactly what suppliers can do and are authorized to enrich and to create a product. The second area of development is about enrichment, and with the multi-local and product models and variants, we are completely in, because we want to simplify the enrichment process and bring the best features of the PIM to the suppliers, so they can enrich and provide the more value to the clients. And the third one is about collaboration. The idea is to be able to collaborate directly into the PIM to the supplier Onboarder, to have feedback and to collaborate on the product contents. And the last one is about the workflow, is to enable the approval workflow and to reduce the time to market of the data, and to have it directly into the PIM if your client need it for different cases. So that's it for me. I would be really happy to answer your question into the Q&A panel. Now I will hand over to Ronan.
Thank you, Alex. So demo time, but before that, I'll use a few slides to propose you a way to present the value proposition of the Onboarder, not just the features. So when it comes to explain the Onboarder to a prospect who is struggling with his supplier's relation, the first thing to validate is that it's requiring the PIM. The Onboarder is something that works on top of the PIM, and it requires the PIM. And just a tip, it's good to know that there is an Onboarder project when you start structuring the PIM, really. And the Onboarder itself is acting between the PIM and our suppliers. And the Onboarder is not just that bundle that is added to Akeneo, on-prem, Flex, and Serenity, but it's really a platform. Just want to underline the fact that what we are proposing here, what we are offering as a value, is not just a software, but really a platform that is scalable. Actually, it requires a whole platform to make the Onboarder running, and that is a good part of the value of it. And it's really about offering mini PIMs to suppliers. So that's a great value that comes with great responsibilities, starting from handling the change management that comes with that kind of new tool, digitalized tool. So that's it. Your master PIM is still driving the structure. What's great with the Onboarder, what I really like personally, is that instead of having your supplier's data structure messing with your own PIM, in that situation, you remain, as a PIM user, master of your PIM, and you're not gonna get imposed a structure that you don't want. You're not gonna maintain mapping plans, hundreds of mapping plans. In the Onboarder use case, it's the people you are working with that respect your PIM's data structure, and it's easing a lot of things, really. Maybe the Onboarder is not for all 100% of the suppliers from a retailer, but starting from a few dozens of suppliers, it starts revealing and delivering its value definitely ROI-wise. Right, so the idea is to have the supplier being approved for the process to start with us as a client, a retailer. And the idea is that through the supplier onboarder, our suppliers will provide product data. We'll see in a minute 3 different use cases to make it clear that suppliers may be responsible to suggest content to existing products or propose new products as well. But in any cases, the category manager or the buyer, we call it the retailer referent on the retailer side, the supplier referent, sorry, is still in charge of reviewing, accepting, or rejecting the product data. It's not that different. It's not that different from the proposal workflow that exists within the PIM. But in that case, it's happening in a way that you have a staging environment for the content before the product becomes a product of your PIM, really. So that staging, the onboarder, is like a staging environment for the data before you decide it lands or not in the PIM. And this is how you would accept this. And then you achieve the enrichment process. Maybe your suppliers will deliver what they are excellent at, delivering the brand messaging that comes with the product content. But still, as a retailer, you want to prepare the omni-channel and channel-specific experience that will make your website, your sales channels, unique in featuring these manufacturers' products, the peaks and of it. And obviously, it's time then to start selling these products. So let's move to a quick view on what it reduces and what it increases. Just a little client story. We are starting the onboarder project with a client of us called Ecor Naturasi, which is a bit like the Biocop in France. They are in Italy, and they were maintaining 6-7 different versions of a Word document they were sending to their suppliers. You can imagine the mess when the supplier is sending the 7th version or the 5th version of that document by email. It's just product management via inbox, not great. So it's definitely a game changer, less errors. Another thing is that the fact that you have a suppliers network working with you through such a tool means you can, as a retailer, animate your suppliers network, even making some promise to your suppliers. If you deliver me the content as fast as you can, if you help me reducing the time to market for the products, then maybe I can commit with you that your products will land in my e-commerce platform faster, and we can make a deal around this, so that you can even rate your suppliers and animate the suppliers network that way. Demo time, and before the use cases, I'll show the supplier itself, the onboarder itself. Sorry, the onboarder is appearing here in my demo with a new entry here that allows me to do the onboarder interface where I will declare my suppliers. So different suppliers, different users, more users per supplier. And if I start creating or editing an existing supplier, I start having some options around. I can decide what kind of products my supplier should propose me. So my families in my PIM really. I can, as you were saying, Alex, I can allow or not the fact that the supplier will propose new products or not. And this is how we create suppliers and users. Back to the PIM itself. In the PIM itself, if I look at any product, you'll see that you'll have a new entry in a new active group, other, I call it, that is mentioning the supplier we want the product to be attached and the supplier reference as well. So let's start with a few use cases. These 3 use cases are about 3 different situations. The first one is where the product comes from an ERP, and it lands then into my PIM, and only then I want my suppliers to start helping me enriching my products. but I am the one who is creating the products really. So I may block the ability for my suppliers to propose new products. And then when it's ready, I can start dispatch it to the e-commerce. So for that one, let's simulate the fact that we have products coming from the ERP, and I will import some products landing in my PIM thanks to an ERP connection and appearing in a supplier's dedicated category I prepared in my demo, which is here. So we just got 3 new products coming from my ERP. So then what I can start doing is, through a mass action or manually, give that product, making that product visible to my supplier. I want my supplier to help me on enriching that product. And just for the sake of the demo, I will create a ref that is my supplier's reference, and it's RG Supplier Limited that is providing such a product. So it's appearing now. It's pretty fast to synchronize, really. Thank you, PubSub. And the product is now appearing here. I guess it's a matter of minutes, I guess. RG001. Here you are. The product is now shown in the interface of my supplier. The mini PIM my supplier is using is a separate URL and is looking at only these products that I'm happy to share with my supplier, right? I may have more tools suppliers, but because I attach that product to that supplier, my supplier is ready to start working and helping me on what I need him or her to provide me. By the way, the completeness that is supplier specific is something that I control from the PIM. If I'm back to the PIM and look to the family, the tool family, here, I am deciding through the completeness definition what I am expecting from my suppliers through that new internal Onboarder column. And it's me to decide whether the manufacturing country is absolutely required by my supplier, or it's nice to have, or it's just not displayed. I don't want them to look at this. So it's up to me to choose this. No, the true story is that such a list of manufacturing country is an option list. Let's remind this for the next steps. So this is how they can see the list of manufacturing countries and countries, colors, material. I am driving this from the PIM, which is the cockpit of my product structure. And it's great because I don't need to update my suppliers on that. I just need to add such a new option from the PIM. The structure is synchronized with the supplier onboarder. You can start thinking about all the emails and back and forth process. It's just removing from now on. Accelerating a bit. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So my manufacturer can start proposing me a great tool coming from Germany, likely, with a great description and some just with and no, as usual, and some good content. Okay. As is, my images, assets as well. The supplier onboarder is asset compatible. All right, so I can go to the asset. I don't know what's deprecated, but please do not mind this. And you can start cherry picking some assets and adding them to the products. Save it. And it's ready to be sent. We're reaching the completeness almost or so. Yes, we are. What's happening now? Getting back to the schema, maybe. What's happening now is that the product just landed in that intermediate zone here, where my category managers, where my buyers can, whether or not, accept such a content. Sorry for messing with the slides. So back to my PIM, I'm ready to look at that intermediate zone here, where I can see my products coming in from my suppliers, and exactly like like for the workflow proposal process, it should land in a minute or so here. What will I do is that I will check all these products coming from all my suppliers and decide whether or not I would approve or reject them. In such a gesture, I'm also able to give it a classification, so put it in a certain proper catalog of my PIM and give it my SKU as a retailer, my retailer SKU. All right, should land in the PIM in a minute. Good. That's the first scenario. I will accelerate for the other ones, which consist of creating in the PIM the product. So the first scenario was creating the product from the ERP, putting them into the PIM. Second one is very similar. I would create the products within the PIM, expose it to my ERP somehow when, as a manufacturer, I finally have some transactional data and an offer defined for such a product so that my ERP can handle these transactional data. And then I can start exposing this to my supplier in a certain step in my workflow. The third use case is when the onboarder is a source for my PIM, really, and where my suppliers can propose new products so that they will achieve the demo that way, if it's all good for you. So getting back to my RG supplier instance, RG supplier.poc.demo.cloud.akeneo.com, and I will start creating products. How a supplier is creating products, really? Two ways. Manual action, or rather more massive action, I would say. Manual action is basically creating the products that way, you know that by heart, but the list of families here is restricted to what I allow the suppliers to provide me with, the families that I want my suppliers to provide me with. That's the first way. Another way to create a product is actually to import them massively, but for that, it would be great if my suppliers would know about my structure and if I could share them like a spreadsheet that is driven by my PIM structure, really. So that's exactly what I got here. I can download my supplier can download different templates here, and these templates, like this one, are in sync with my PIM structure. You remember, we had a list of countries, manufacturing countries for the products. I'm managing that list from my PIM. It's in my option attributes. But such a list is here. Hello guys, the list is here, and in the tools XLSX file, so one spreadsheet per family, we have our structure. So the what we have here is the list of fields, technical codes. We also have labels, okay, and we also have dynamic cells. The country is a list of values that comes from my PIM, really. Same for my colors material. So that's great because actually it's really in sync, at least at the moment you're downloading the file, it's completely in sync with the PIM. I think that's it. And that's the three use cases we encounter the most when it comes to demonstrate the onboarder. I hope it is clear to anyone. And I'm glad to give Nelly the micro now. And welcoming the question at the end.
Hello everyone. So now we are going to speak about some implementation feedback that we had now for a few months. It's also going to be on what Ronan just said about the onboarder with using the demo, but now it's more about how it works in the project. So the first thing, of course, is to define at the PIM level what are the attributes, the required attributes, and also the nice to have attributes you want per family. Not really you, but the client actually wants per family. Using that, the suppliers will enhance the data quality of each product within each family of products, focusing only on product information that matters. Of course, it's possible also to change a bit those nice to have and required attributes over time when your client is more welcome with it, more at ease also with this new requirement. we used to say that at the beginning of the implementation of the onboarder, we really recommend to focus on some of the best product family vendors. It's more like the Pareto law is like 80% of the product, the best seller product. It's just like 20% of the family of product, that's it. So we recommend the clients to really focus on those best vendor product to make sure that they are going to use the best attributes and also product that they know about. It's really important. Then it's easy to improve the model and expand the scope to more family of product and even more product and all family, all product to have a future-proofed onboarded data model. As Ronan just showed you earlier, one supplier is linked to one or several product family. So you are really going to control your data directly in the PIM with the onboarder. You are not going to give the access of all the family for all the suppliers. You are really going to help suppliers to enrich product in their product possibility and also knowledge about. We have now the Excel file to import the product with all the attribute option, as Ronan just showed you, and it's really, really important. Think also about information that matter for you directly and information that the supplier is going to know about. If you ask to your suppliers to enrich information that they just don't know about, there is no point about it, okay? So the idea is to enhance product data, but also control what you want, okay? So just to make sure that we can easily and in a very good way implement the onboarder and make the onboarder a success during the implementation and for our clients, we recommend at the beginning to really start with some trusted suppliers for our clients, well-known suppliers with a good relationship, also suppliers sometimes also who have important catalog, person that knows about all the new technology, because as it's a mini PIM, it could be very easy to know how to work directly on this kind of software, kind of. Even if it's a dedicated web page, it's not really software that the suppliers are going to install. So when this trusted supplier gives some feedback and they know really about how to use it, it's easier for the client using PIM and onboarder to prove the methodology of working and also prove the workflow within suppliers and the client users, contributors inside the company. Okay, and it's also the best way, of course, to expand the scope then to other suppliers using and delivering a good message and a good usage of those mini PIMs, like Ronan said. So also, as Ronan said earlier, now we can also have some new person working with the PIM, working with and because of the onboarder. We used to call them in the project the buyers. Beforehand, with the Akeneo PIM, it was like the Julias, you know perfectly the Julias, and some of the person like logistic department, etc., who were here to enhance and to provide some product information data directly in the PIM. Now the buyers have a very good role to play in this implementation. Why? Because the onboarder provides two things. The pre-referencement of product, it's what maybe we use in Europe, a lot more in the US part of the world, is like you as a client, you don't have new product and your supplier is going to push you new product, okay? So you have your already known product, you want some data to come into the onboarder and which by a supplier, but your supplier can also push new product to you, to the client, and the client can just say, yes, I want this product, like Ronan showed you earlier. It's very important. Now a new department is working in the PIM, working with the onboarder, and also can control the data maybe. Maybe you can also add some information at the product itself, and it's very, very important to make the PIM and the onboarder a very important software inside a company, and also giving saving money, saving time, and saving money among the time to market. Okay, if there is more people working in the same software, is better for the time to market. During also the implementation we did those months, the last months we had, some of the person here also know about this kind of work. We have now the proposition and validation like inevitable. All the product, the new product, like the already existing product, comes in the PIM with using the proposition and validation workflow. So it's very good time to think about the workflow within and between the different contributors inside the PIM, but also really is the job of everyone. Who is responsible of what types of product, which family of product, who is going to say yes, no, and accept the new product, who is going to accept or reject the new proposition coming from the supplier, per attribute group, etc. So we have a lot of things to think about, and sometimes think again. It's just really a change in a company, but it's a very important one. The idea behind is really to save some time and improve the time to market. So if we need to sum up all the main benefits of the Akeneo Onboarder, it could be kind of course, there is a lot of more, but if we focus on those one, you are going to have some clue about Alexandre's speech and also Ronan's speech. Something very important, it's a SaaS product, so it's going to evolve a lot. It's a baby product and it's going to evolve a lot, and it's evolving for months now, and with all the time the partner feedbacks, client feedback, project manager feedbacks, pre-sales feedbacks, and so on. Very important, and it's a SaaS product. So we love that product because it's a SaaS and very easy to how to say that, to update, etc. It's also very user-friendly and easy to configure. It's the most important thing is to keep the ID of the Akeneo PIM inside the Onboarder, having real person using it every day, and buyers are like Julia. They have to keep this ability of working easily in a structure. Of course, it's going to save valuable time for the enrichment team. If the suppliers give you nice to have and required attribute through your product, you are going to save time, your clients are going to save time, everyone. It's also a secure access to the core system for the partner here who were used to work with suppliers coming to the PIM with a very, very complicated system of permission, rights and role within the PIM. Now, we don't have to do this because the access is very secured. It's just you give access to some families, to some suppliers, point, and the client is going to decide which supplier is going to give access to it. So it's very interesting. Of course, you can with it create and/or enrich product both ways. Very interesting. So you can think about different and tons of implementation possibilities. Very interesting. Behind, again, the time to market, save time, enriching product very easily. If we can have the buyers inside the PIM, so we are going to have more people working in the same environment. So interesting. And this is also the supplier, the retailers, the client, who are going to define the template about products. They are going to define, again, they are going to be flexible with their own product data information. And I think that at Akeneo, this is what we want also, to be very flexible, to adapt to a lot of use cases and even more use cases for the client, to have the best product attributes, families, etc., to have everyone working in the same software. I think this is it for me, so I will let François speak for now. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Ronan, Alex, Nelly, for your precious feedback. Before you leave, before you go, we go into the question. But I know that I have a few things to tell you because I know you're going to leave right after the question. So a few important things I wanted to highlight. On the partner side, we will release a monthly partner newsletter And actually, the very first one has just been sent. So check out your email inbox right after the webinar. You must have received your first Partners newsletter. If you haven't received it, it's probably because you opt out. So reach out to your channel manager so that you can receive the Partners newsletter again. Check your spam also. Also, something that is now available that will be available in the Partner Toolbox, not now, but check out with your channel manager. We have been working on a marketing playbook so that you can actually know exactly what you can do in terms of marketing action, how we can help you, what's the benefit for you, and what we can do for you to help that. So we cannot list all the marketing action that exists, and we make it very simple for you. It will help you to know what to do and how to do it and how we can help you. And as I said at the beginning of the webinar, so the webinar will be recorded, will be available in the new Partner Toolbox. It's a new Partner Toolbox, but we kind of reworked the organization, we revamped the categories and stuff so that you can actually find the best documentation and actually the documentation where it's supposed to be. It became a bit messy after a long years of since the partner portal existed, so we thought it would be relevant to revamp it. So have a look. The webinar, again, video will be available there, but then you can find the case studies, the ebook, all the marketing content that you need. That was for me. So there might be some questions. There are actually a lot of questions. So if we can't answer all the questions now, we'll make sure to answer those questions after that. What do we got? We got Charles saying you talked about 2,500 suppliers with access to the onboarder of a client. Is there a limit of number of users per supplier? In my memory, the limit was about 3 users per each supplier.
Yes, exactly. In fact, the limit is about 1 users. It's by suppliers. It's more a technical user, we can call it. It's just an email that can be a generic within a service of your supplier, of the supplier. But this is a topic that we identified for the 2020, and we want to do some interviews. So if you are willing to answer to our interviews and give us some feedbacks on how you would like to manage the user for the suppliers, it would be really great to get in touch for this.
Question from Charles again. Before the validation was made in PIM, if the product already exists, using the proposal screen in the retail onboarder, if it's a new product using new product screen. As I understand, the slides presented by Ronan and the demo, now everything is done in the retail onboarder, but the name of the menu is still new product, is it?
I think there's two, it corresponds to 2 different scenarios presented by Ronan. The first one is when a supplier creates a new product that is now recorded into the PIM, that creates what we call internally a pre-reference product that is displayed directly into the retailer onboarder. But as it is when it is still not accepted by the retailer, it won't be into the PIM, and as soon it is accepted, the new reference, the new record is added to the PIM, and then it goes through the other scenario that is the enrichment scenario between the client and its suppliers, where the supplier can still enrich and the data itself will be accepted or rejected within the proposal screen. So there is a 2-step. The first one is just to validate the new product, the new reference into the PIM catalog. And the second one is to validate the content, the data of this product within the proposal screen.
Okay, question from Charles again. How do you manage the template with multi-select attributes?
For now, we don't manage the multi-select attributes. We still have the same structure than in the PIM. We separate values with commas into the Excel file.
But Charles, I just want to have something, and also for everyone, don't forget also that the onboarder user interface is very, very user-friendly. So even if the supplier can't upload directly with Excel or CSV all the product with all the attributes, we still have sequential addition and we still have enrichment of product very easily using all the best things that we can have in the PIM. So it's still very, very easy to use directly in the UI. Okay.
Next, yeah, we've seen the initialization of data, but can a supplier overwrite modified data in the PIM?
Yes, yes, you can definitely override the data as long as he can see the product on his side. Actually, when the product was accepted, it exists on both sides, and the suppliers can still propose updates on that. But each time it has to be validated, so that they can propose, but they won't impose, and you'll get an indication that you need to again in the onboarder screen validate the new updated content.
There's a lot of questions, so we might not be able to answer all the questions right now, but if we can't answer all the questions today, we make sure to send like proper answers later on, maybe per channel or through the partner portal. Just a quick, maybe a last one from Vic from Strike to Hey. Can partners get a test onboarder account? I know that's the regular question we have from a lot of partners. One thing, so it's a pure SaaS product, so it doesn't work as a demo box. We cannot like give you a just like a demo for the onboarder. We would need to grant an access of the onboarder to all of you as a partner. So we are currently thinking of it, and just to find the best way how we can provide, if we can provide an onboarding instance for your own purpose and for the pre-sales purpose. Now, for the moment, we just want you to understand how to actually identify your need for the onboarder. If there is a need from the onboarder and then you identify your need for the onboarder, then we can give you an access to a sandbox, or we can think of it, or we can just like do the demo with you guys. So it's under discussion. Technically, it would require to give you an access to a lot of onboarder instances, so that's why we're still thinking of it. You know, am I correct? Yeah.
There were 3 questions.
Yeah. Do suppliers get any email notification when the buyers asks for data?
A ton of notification, but in a smart way.
Yeah. We send in order to avoid spam to suppliers, we send an email twice a week that recap all the new product that need to be enriched by suppliers, the product that has been accepted, and also the product that has been rejected or need to be reworked. So yes, suppliers get emails.
Another question then. If 2 suppliers provide the same product, is there a way to match the records?
Sorry. Okay.
2 suppliers. So right now it cannot happen as is, as an SKU or unique identifier for a product is attached to only one supplier. Yeah. So it cannot happen that way, really.
Yeah.
The other question then is matching the future development in the roadmap Alexandre will talk about. Question is, how are the suppliers updated on the status of their catalog in the onboarder if products are not complete or the requirement level has been changed? So,
yeah.
Alexandre,
so on the supplier side, the status is automatically updated depending on the completion rate of the product. So as soon as the product is completed, we synchronize it and we send it as a proposal to the PIM. And if the requirement change, the structure of the requirement is also sent back to the suppliers. So the completion rate is modified on the supplier side, and then they will receive the email I just talked about, saying that a number of products need rework because they don't reach the completion, the complete rate.
A lot of questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions, so we won't be able to answer it today, otherwise it will be too long. So what we're gonna do, again, the video will be available in the toolbox. We will also give you like the slides in the toolbox, and we will add the question and answers in that PDF that will be available on the partner portal. Okay, so we have all the questions, and so we will get back to you, but it would take too much time to answer to all those questions right now. So I think we can. I think that's it. You have any last thing to say? No.
I would love to see all your faces, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope that the COVID situation will end so that we can see you. No. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Enjoy your summer vacation. That's what I want to say. Have a good day, and I promise we will answer all the questions. Everything will be available on the partner portal. Thank you. Enjoy your summer vacation. Bye bye. Cheers.
Bye, friends. Bye bye.
Bye.